Guys, welcome back to another video on What If Deku Was OP, Part 2. Now, before we get into this, I have a couple questions for y'all that I would like y'all to answer in the comment section down below. Now, before you think I'm a weirdo, these questions are kind of simple ones that I just want to know how you would like my uploading schedule to be and other stuff. So, I'm wondering, do you guys like my current upload schedule now? That's question number 1. Do you all like how I keep it to a restricted amount of what ifs, but I actually go through my what ifs and continue them into longer parts? Or would you rather want me to make one-shot what ifs that really don't get expanded on unless if it reaches like a certain like goal or something like that? Or would you guys rather have me continue the way I'm doing now? And would you guys like me to upload even more than I currently am? Or would you rather like me to upload less and be able to build a better story around the ones when I upload less? All these different questions, the main reason why I'm asking them is because I want to get your guys' feedback. Because I know my content isn't the best that it can be, and it can definitely be better than what it's at. But I figured if I got a response from you guys telling me what I can do to fix my content to make it better for y'all personal enjoyment, then it would just be better overall. Okay, now let's jump straight into this. Oh yeah, wait, actually, no. Rewind time. Sorry, guys. Go check out the Discord. Link in the description down below. Yeah, so join it. Come chat. Have some fun times with us. There isn't too many people in the Discord right now, but go down there. Be one of the first people to join. You can get a hold of me anytime, and since, newsflash, I'm a high school student, y'all can text me and message me during class. Yeah, so have fun with that. Now let's jump straight into this what ifs. Now where we last left off, Deku had just finished the Quirk aptitude test that Aizawa distributed to his students. Deku ranked pretty decently on the test, with his abilities all ranking in the higher echelon of everyone else's capabilities, allowing him to easily overshadow personnel like Bakugo, Todoroki, and other people. While Yaoyorozu found his quirk to be a very interesting style one, and actually kind of found it easier to talk to him because his quirk was kind of similar to her own, or at least from what she got a description of it. She was kind of confused on his quirk. Most of the students were. So, during lunch that day, they had asked him, "Hey, Izuku." "Yes, Yaoyorozu?" Oh, I totally did the voices backwards. How does your quirk work? I know from what I saw personally, it seems that it's a very quick quirk, or to be more accurate, a quirk that allows the user to give himself multiple quirks. Is that the case? And Deku holds up his hand and he's like, "No, my quirk is actually a little bit weirder than that. See, my quirk allows me to basically create/destroy anything." "Okay, and how does it let you use those other quirks that you used, or those other abilities?" "See, what I do for those is that I create the ability inside my body itself. Anything I create isn't bounded by the laws of reality itself." "Wait, so does that mean..." "Yes, if I so choose to, I could create a black hole in the middle of the cafeteria right now. Or I can create an infinite supply of food that anyone can eat no matter where they're at in the world. My abilities are kind of limitless in that regard. But I guess because of that, I was kind of sheltered my entire early life. I never really met my parents or anything. But I couldn't say I lived a bad life. Most likely I lived a better life than most kids. I lived in a well-sustained area. Of course, some of the things I found to be normal might be strange to everyone here now, but I do believe that with some time we can all get to know each other and find at least I hope, my actions to be more normal rather than the situation that happened this morning. Yaoyorozu remembered the earlier situation that happened this morning, and a blush slowly started to appear on her face when she started thinking about it. Yes, I would very much hope that we don't run into a situation similar to that again, she says as a light chuckle escapes from her mouth. She strains her figure again and she says, "Well, this has been an informative talk, Izuku." "Yes, I agree, Yagirozu." "Oh, call me Momo." "I thought it was inappropriate to call people by their first names." "Yes, now where that might be inappropriate if you're not friends with the person. I believe we're friends. So I find it very simple that you can just call me Yagirozu. I was also raised in a very, I guess you can say, keenly watched area. Not nearly as much as you, as I suppose, but similar enough into fashion to where I could understand where you're getting at, and how you lived an earlier life." Deku smiled at Yagirozu's claim, and felt like he finally made a friend that could understand exactly how he felt. Deku went back to eating. Some of the guys were kind of upset, especially the purple-haired one. Deku gained the ability to where he can sense how people feel. He got it off a character in one of his mangas he read. He found the ability to be a very unique one, and a very useful one at that. He could also find the individual values of the people that he touched. So for example, if he were to touch All Might, he could see the amount of loyalty, trust, and other feelings All Might had towards him, giving him greater abilities to understand the personnel around him. He hoped that this ability would help him moving forward in the future. Deku calmly went back to eating as some other kids asked him some questions. Most of them were how was life when he grew up and how his life acted when he was younger and if he had a mother and father. Deku explained that, "No, my father disappeared apparently after my birth, and my mother died from a young age, and by that time I was picked up by the American Hero Society. And then I was kind of confined and raised inside this base because they found out my quirk had awakened almost instantly after birth. After finding out my capabilities, they brought me into an enclosed area where they ran somewhat of routine tests. Every now and then they would drain my blood and test my capabilities of controlling my quirk." "Why would they drain your blood?" said one of the boys. "They said it was mainly because they were wondering if my capabilities might be another step in human evolution. Kind of like how quirks were a step up, they were wondering if mine was a step up from a quirk." "Huh. Well, what did they find?" "Well, other than me just being a normal human being, nothing else." Which kind of shocked the observers there that were watching over me. "Huh. So they did experiments on you, and that's why you didn't care if you stripped down in front of girls?" "Well, I figured that was a normal thing, seeing how I had to strip down in front of doctors and scientists for my entire life. God, half the time I didn't even have on an entire full set of clothing. I would wear a gown, to be more accurate, kind of like one that you would wear in a hospital." Everyone else at the table was trying to make sense of this, while Bakugo kind of just scoffed in the background. Some other kids heard Bakugo scoff, but really didn't care because they all knew Bakugo was kind of a prick. They really didn't care about it currently. After Deku had explained his situation to them, they all seemed to get a better understanding of Deku. This allowed him to calmly eat the rest of his lunch without any issues, which felt pretty good, seeing how all food here tastes way better than the food he ate inside the lab. or inside what he had called home. It tastes better here. And he actually had other people around his age that he can learn from. That was also nice too. Sadly, Deku didn't know that he was being watched by the teachers. All the staff there were watching. All Might said, I already took under association that anything that happened to Deku would be exactly related to me. All Might says with a stern voice, wondering why these people wouldn't just leave the kid alone. Then Aizawa said, All Might, now where I do understand where you're coming from, you must understand. He is my student. And I can't have a kid that strong be that dangerous and running around without any sort of chains or anything to limit him. All Might sighs at Aizawa's statement. He's like, can't you just stop the kid's abilities? I'd already tried that earlier on. It didn't seem I was able to nullify his quirk. This kind of surprised All Might, because Eraserhead had even been able to nullify his quirk in the past. But now he finds out he can't even nullify Deku's? This was one of his main contingency plans in case if Izuku had gone out of control. But now that that wasn't there, he had no clue what to do. He had a kid that literally could destroy the entire world if he really decided about it. And there was nothing he could do to stop him. All Might sighs at this revelation. He's like, is there anything you can do? Does your capabilities slow him down at all? Aizawa shakes his head. No. There is almost absolutely nothing I can do. Anything I could do wouldn't even be in effect against him. That kid might not look it, but his power is capable to a god's, basically. He can create whatever he wants and becomes whatever he wants. God, if the kid wants to become a cat, he could, for Christ's sakes. How am I meant to fight against something that transcends all logic and reasoning and just goes with fuck you bullshit as its answer for everything? All Might kind of sighs at this, not actually thinking that the kid was going to be that much of trouble when he originally took on Izuku. Of course, he had heard about Izuku's capabilities and knew the situation was kind of dangerous, but he had just figured that Izuku was just a boy that didn't know how to control his powers completely. But now that All Might knew that his quirk control was actually insanely high, he couldn't believe that the US had just kept this kid locked up for an extreme amount of time without any capabilities or any knowledge to any of the other personnel around the world. Then again, All Might figured that having information about Deku breakout could result in a World War III. Anyone would want to get their hands on a kid that can literally stop time, create pocket dimensions, some of the things Deku said that he had been able to do. When All Might asked Deku why he decided to stay in the US, Deku said because that was his home. This kind of pained All Might to see the look on Deku's face, the look of utter scenery, almost like he was confused by All Might's question. And then All Might asked, but don't you want to go explore the world? And Deku's like, yeah, I do want to explore the world. But me at base wanting to explore the world doesn't equate to me not wanting to be at home as well. All Might was kind of shocked by this because he figured Deku would have been more wanting to explore the world rather than just wanting to live a normal life. All Might eventually understood exactly what Deku meant, and he's like, okay, we're going to help you become a strong hero, strong enough to where you can live a normal life that you've always wanted, strong enough to where you can repel the forces of the entire world, heck, repel me even. Deku smiled at All Might's exclamation. Some of the other teachers that were present kind of disliked the statement All Might made, knowing that it would instantaneously cause issues with the upper echelon over in the US if they know that All Might was planning on freeing Deku from what he had basically framed it as shackles. But Deku's smile grew bigger Hearing his hero said that he would be able to one day walk freely among everyone else and experience new things and meet new people made Deku very happy. Knowing that all this was a capability brought a giant smile to Deku's face, one bigger than he had ever experienced before. Of course, he read tons of manga and stuff, but he had never actually experienced what they called real happiness. The most enjoyment he got was from reading manga, and even then, he didn't get to experience much of it before the next test happened, or before the next training session happened, or before the next issue had happened. Deku knew that there wasn't much that he could do, but he was still excited and loved the premise of being able to do something, anything that was different and not the same as the monotonous stuff that he had lived before. Deku's smile grew more and more as All Might started to smile too back at Deku. All Might, feeling like he had accomplished a very mighty deed, gave Deku a pat on the back and said, "Don't worry, Izuku, your training will start tomorrow." Deku shook his head up and down and quickly went to bed. The other teachers that were there were kind of surprised. Same with All Might. They had never expected Deku to just run off. When All Might asked Deku where he was going, Deku said, "I'm gonna go to bed." "Izuku, it's only 12. "Yes, I'm meant to sleep at 12. Happened very commonly back at the lab." "Izuku, they made you take naps at the lab even though you're 14? "They said it was for better cognitive function in the rest of my tests." "Well, we don't do that here. You're not going to be taking a nap." "Oh, okay," Deku said. He rarely got the ability not to take a nap, so it was kind of like an enjoyable experience for him. He then quickly began to get ready and excited. The rest of the day went with nothing big going on until Deku finally got home. He sat down in his room with the door locked, and he did something that he only did in secret. Not many people knew this, but he had the capabilities of summoning people, or he counted it summoning, but he really knew he was creating a soul and a physical body and giving it life in the memories of the characters he knew and loved. Deku summoned a special yellow-haired boy in front of him. Deku smiled at the yellow-haired boy, and the yellow-haired boy smiled back at Deku. He's like, "It's been a long time, Izuku." Deku's like, "It has been a long time, Naruto. How's your day today?" "Oh, it's been going good. Becoming Hokage and stuff wasn't easy. But now that I am, it's actually kind of peaceful." And by peaceful, I mean there's a mountain load of work, Naruto says with kind of a distraught look on his face. Deku's like, "I'm sorry, man. There's nothing I can do to help you." Naruto explained, "Oh, don't worry about it. I know there wasn't much that you could do. I just wanted to vent for a minute." Deku smiled. He kept talking with Naruto for a bit before eventually resting. He knew that as soon as Deku closed his eyes that Naruto would vanish, almost like he had never been here. Deku closed his eyes and fell asleep. And that's where we're going to leave it off, guys. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to say again, go check out the description down below, you whack jobs. Go over to the Discord. Go say hi. Bomb rush me with messages. I really couldn't care less about what you do. Well, at least until then, or until next time, goodbye.